What a lovely evening for a garden tour here at the end of August. You're going to see it close up in just a minute, but earlier this week the neighbors had all these bushes ripped out. It was crazy. I came home and the yard was full of things, and of course the people cleaned it up, but now my garden looks even bigger than it did before because those bushes are gone. Stay tuned, and remember, if you enjoy garden entertainment, be sure to check me out on Patreon. Here we go! Garden tour, check it out. The neighbors had those bushes ripped down like Tuesday. Isn't that crazy? It looks so different, especially from the balcony. All right, let's hop in the garden. The first thing you'll notice is I have an abundance of weeds because, well, we've hit that time of the year where I really just stopped caring about weeds. So the kale is still huge, the Swiss chard is still huge, and the lettuce is long gone. It's all bolty and disgusting. Here I had a cauliflower that I probably should have picked, but I didn't, and now it's looking gross, but that's okay because my Brussels sprouts are coming along. Should have some of them shortly. These sure are pretty. These pretty looking plants. So the peppers, gosh, they're doing something. I have tiny little peppers, but they are ugly looking. Okay, that's kind of a blackish pepper. This might be fine. Little one over here. Next year I definitely have to plant them in full sun, and I have to cage them sooner because I think something ate the buds early on, and that definitely hindered it. Pulled the peas off since last time. You'll see that in this month's Home and Garden for Mere Mortals, actually on September 2nd. So I can move these vines that are crawling forward. I can continue to encourage them to grow where the peas used to be, and you can see my first cantaloupe's doing good, dangling there, and the second one is hiding behind it. It's pretty fun. I ripped out the zucchini plant because it was done, like done. It was already starting to decay. So it's just the eggplants here. They're looking beautiful. This beautiful weed. And coxcomb. That's the best comment from the last garden tour. That I think this is coxcomb. Some wild flowers, aren't those pretty? And let's see, over here we've got some blossoms that are going to turn into little baby pumpkins. And actually, do we have a little one started already? What is this? Nope. Nope, we don't. I'm just seeing things. I've been picking tomatoes left and right. They're still beautiful. I need to remember to plant fewer tomatoes because my eyes are definitely bigger than my stomach, and you can only can so much and give away so many. But I sure got some beautiful Instagram pictures. Ground cherries! I have been coming out here like every other day and picking them, and they just keep falling. That's okay. They are still good as they were from the first time I was able to harvest. Delectable. So, you know, I didn't eat a single radish this year, but take a look at this monster. Compared to the size of my hand, it's, you know, I'm just growing it to see how big it's going to be before I need to pull it out. I have harvested seeds for saving, and we'll see how that works out next year. But check this out. This has nothing to do with seeds. This has everything to do with pollination. There's a bumblebee, and there's a bumblebee. Oh, everywhere. Seriously, if I just put the camera and I keep it still for a while, and you just watch, you see things flying around. There's tons. There's probably got to be 100 bees in here because the raspberries are going to be ripe in September. In fact, I bet they'll be ripe sooner than that. But take a look at this. Every stalk is like this with dozens of raspberries everywhere. I mean, look at this. It's going to be a smorgasbord of raspberries. In fact, some of the very early ones, this is my first red raspberry. It's going to be really exciting. I'm going to be up on the balcony over there. That's where the balcony is, by the way, where we started this video. And I'm going to be looking down here, and this whole thing is going to turn raspberry red. I'm very excited for it. I have mostly, actually, I harvested all the cucumbers, and I just got, you know, one there, and I got another one dangling there just for seeds. I should probably pull this one off. I did a little bit of canning. Gooseberry plant looks fine. The walking onions, Egyptian walking onions. Actually, I had some new sprouts come up right here. These are new. I wasn't expecting that, but that's what they do. They grow up, they fall over, and they reseed themselves, hence the walking. I'll plant them in a different spot next year. They're tasty. But what else is there? Yeah, that's pretty much it right now. You know, the rhubarb is looking like rhubarb. It's big. We've had a big dry spell, and finally we had some rain just hours ago. That's nice. Some suckers on the old mulberry stump. Buried underneath here is a giant stump from a mulberry tree. Look at this. This is not my garden. This is just the neighbor's yard. They pulled out all those great big bushes. It's so different to see. But I guarantee the next garden update will be full of raspberries, unless I pull them all in the next 3 weeks, in which case you'll have to go onto Instagram and see the pictures that I post. Pretty much all of my garden pictures have gone on Instagram this year. So again, take a look at the ground cherries. Just, wow, they never end. It's the never-ending story of ground cherries. And beans too. You know, I've had tons of beans, which is wonderful. Like you can pull back some of these leaves and it's just bean after bean after bean. We had beans for supper. The wax beans, those Sultan's Earrings wax beans here, they were the most prolific. And interestingly enough, if you remember back in my May Home and Garden for Mere Mortals video, I had my first, actually it was June, it was just last month, I picked off the first purple pole beans. And in the same area where I pulled them off from, a month later, we got brand new buds. Exact same spot. I'm so exciting. So I'm going to get a second harvest from the places where I pulled first, plus all the other beans. So lots of good produce here. It's been a really fun and interesting season. I already have ideas for what we're going to be doing differently next year, aside from just a different layout. And yeah, I'm most excited about the raspberries now. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video. How is your garden doing? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. I'm the Midwest Man Mountain, and until next time, bye!